Welcome to Pankinen Financial Perspective with Ashton Pankinen from Pankinen Financial Group. Planning for your financial future means navigating challenges like market volatility, inflation, and retirement income. Pankinen Financial Perspective is here to help by addressing common financial concerns, sharing valuable strategies, and exploring ways you can work toward your financial goals. Now let's get started with Pankinen Financial Perspective.
Hello and welcome to the Pankinen Financial Perspective. My name is Ashton Pankinen from Pankinen Financial Group. If you'd like more information about what you hear during our show today, give us a call at 952-873-2703 or visit us online at pankinenfinancial.com. That's PANKONIN financial.com. And while at my website, click on the radio page to check out past shows and to subscribe to our program on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music. And while at my page, click the link at the top of the page to get my latest retirement guide or sign up for my newsletter. There are few things more endearing than a special relationship between a grandparent and a grandchild. For grandparents, it's a chance to relive the joy of raising children, but with fewer stresses and obligations. And for grandkids, it's a chance to spend time with another adult who cares about them and is interested in their life and well-being. During the show today, we're going to discuss some financial costs of being a grandparent and how you may be able to build some of those costs into your budget and financial strategy. But first, let me introduce my co-host, Tony Shore, who isn't a grandparent yet, but who I know would make one of the funniest grandparents around.
Funny looking, maybe. I don't know. I love kids, and I missed that age when mine were little, so I'm hoping. My son is already married, and my other daughter's pretty close to getting engaged, so maybe grandkids are in my future here. We'll see. Yep. I'm not pushing. I think my wife would like to push a little harder, but I'm like,
that's
no.
usually the case.
But yeah, I mean, I think I'd enjoy having some grandkids running around. And I know that growing up, my dad was an over-the-road truck driver for a long time. So he would be gone a couple weeks at a time sometimes. And my mom worked full-time. My parents both worked full-time. So I grew up on a farm, and right across the lane, it was my grandpa's farm. It's where my grandfather was raised, my dad was raised, and I was raised because their house was right across the lane. So I really grew up with my grandparents, and my mom's parents would take me sometimes I'd be at their house for a week. So they helped raise me, and I got really close to my grandparents, and that relationship to me was very, very important. So
yeah, it sounds like you're a pretty lucky kid.
I was very lucky. In fact, at one time I had 7 living grandparents, and
Holy moly.
And I was old enough to get to know all of them. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. There's a lot of longevity in the family. So I had, on my mom's side, I had my grandma and grandpa. On my dad's side, I had his mom and dad, my grandma and grandpa there. Then I had his stepmom, so my great grandma. And then I had his mom's parents were still alive. So there's 2 more. So I had 7 living grandparents. I had 3 great grandparents and, of course, 4 grandparents. So and I got to know them all very well. So I think grandkids are important. I think grandparents are important. And I know a lot of your clients are either already grandparents or likely will be in the next few years. So this is going to be a good show. This is a great topic you've got. Now, you're not a grandparent yet, though.
No,
you're not even close. Yeah, you're a long ways. You're a young
with the 7, 5, and almost 3-year-old here now. So yeah, we're a little ways from that, but
a little ways. Yeah.
But no, we're fortunate to have some good grandparents in our kids' lives as well. And so,
that's nice.
And I was blessed as a kid too to have my grandparents be there for me, and fortunately, it was for a long time, and they lived long lives, and got to enjoy growing up with them as well.
That's great. Well, we're both from that sturdy stock, that Midwest farm stock down there in southwestern Minnesota, the Worthington Windham area. That's some sturdy stock. A lot of grandparents around. Yeah. I mean, I got to know
potatoes make you last forever.
Meat and potatoes. Yeah. Meat, potatoes, and veggies. Yep. That fresh grown food. all local. Grew up on that. I mean, I probably didn't. The food we ate at our house, it was all local. I don't think there was too much that I ate that wasn't made locally, unless we went out to a restaurant or a fast food place. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, hey, where do you want to start with this?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the things we looked at, we got some more information from an article here, and it begins with an excellent rundown of what the cost is in 2025 to be a grandparent. And so, they surveyed a bunch of grandparents here, and shockingly, 96% of grandparents said they've taken on some financial cost for their grandkids.
Ooh.
And on average, spending about $4,000 a year per grandkid.
Wow.
And so, again, that's perhaps more concerning, as many said that they've even considered putting their own financial well-being at risk or delaying retirement, dipping into savings, all out of love and desire to help with their grandkids.
Well, yeah, and we all want to help our kids and grandkids. I think that's a natural desire for most.
For sure.
Most grandparents want to do what they can for their grandkids, but you do have to be careful. And I was reading this article in Kiplinger, how much does it cost to be a grandparent? And it had some of these stats in there. And so I'm glad we're talking about this, because I found it fascinating. I mean, what it costs to be a grandparent these days is quite a bit. It's pretty shocking. And 96% of grandparents say they've taken on financial costs for their grandkids. That's something. And, but some, you said some will put their own financial well-being at risk, or delay their retirement, or dip into their retirement funds. That's concerning, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be. I mean, and according to the study, there's different expenses. You may say, well, how do we get to that $4,000 number? And again, this is a survey they did on average. Not everybody's in this boat, but
sure.
About $1,000 a year on big ticket items like down payment on a house, or maybe helping them buy a car.
Yeah.
$1,000 goes towards tuition, school costs, or college. I've got a lot of clients that help with private high school or private elementary school for kids.
Oh, wow. Okay. I never thought of that one.
Yeah, because I think it's important. And a lot of times the grandparents maybe attended the school, if it's the Lutheran school in town or whatever. And so they want to see their kids and grandkids go to that school as well. Housing support, maybe it's helping with monthly bills. Travel and vacation, whether it's going to see grandkids that are out of state, or maybe going on a trip with the kids and grandkids. They've got about another $1,000 earmarked for that. Yep. And then you've got other things like saving for college funds. $600 on average is what grandparents are saving for college funds. $500 on everyday expenses, $500 on regular allowances. Like, hey, every time I see my grandkid, I give them an allowance. Gifts, clothes, shoes, dining out, extracurricular activities. That's getting more and more expensive for parents to do. All these different sporting events. And so sometimes grandparents step in and pay for some of those. My daughter's in dance, and I know dance costumes can get expensive, and those types of things, or helping with healthcare and just overall general entertainment. And so when you add it all up, Tony, it's easy to see how this kind of support, while generous and given with love, can put quite a strain on finances, especially with the rising costs of everything around the board, from groceries to gas to healthcare. And so while it's natural to want to help, it's instinct, the tough reality is, Tony, that overextending yourself could jeopardize your own retirement and your own retirement security. And no one wants that, not you and not your grandkids either.
Yeah. And I know a lot of grandparents, if you have the money, before you do any of this, especially the big ticket items, talk to your financial advisor. And if you're not working with one, work with someone like yourself, Ashton, because a lot of grandparents want to help with their kids' college, maybe help them pay off those college debts, but make sure you can do it first. It reminds me what you just said there. Don't jeopardize your own financial security. Reminds me of that analogy of when you fly in an airplane. They always tell you, in case of emergency, an oxygen mask will drop. Always put on your mask first, and then help the kids or those who can't help themselves Put your own mask on first, then help your kids. And so you're not going to be any good to your kids if you don't make sure you've got to make sure you're okay. And then that'll enable you to help them more. And that's what working with somebody like yourself can do, right?
Yeah. And again, it's, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying make sure it fits your plan.
Yeah.
Because it is very rewarding to help these kids and grandkids out. But again, we want to make sure that it fits with your plan. And again, if it's a sacrifice you want to make and it is delaying your retirement, that's fine. But just be aware that that's a conscious decision that we're making. Hey, we are going to help out the grandkids. I know I'm going to have to work another couple of years or maybe spend a little less on myself in retirement to hit those goals. And so again, it's not something I'm saying don't do. It's something that, hey, make sure it fits for you.
Sure. So does that survey give any insight into whether or not some grandparents are going to have to sacrifice then to provide those things for their grandkids?
Yeah, it does, Tony. And truthfully, it's pretty eye-popping. Let's talk about sacrifices grandparents are making or thinking about making to help their grandkids financially. And it's not just small stuff. According to the article, some grandparents have already tightened their belt and started to live more frugally to make ends meet. And half say that even though they haven't yet, they're thinking about doing so. And so that's a lot of people trying to rework their budgets to be able to help grandkids out. And that's strictly out of love that they're doing that. And then another big one is pulling money from savings or retirement accounts. About 14% have already done it. And another 15 or 57%, over half, say that they're thinking about doing that. And so again, it's something that we want to make sure you have enough to support yourself later in life and keep your retirement goals on track. And then there's another 10%, Tony, that have thought about delaying retirement, that are actually delaying retirement. And then another 42% that are thinking about delaying retirement.
Wow.
Or even taking on debt for grandkids to help them out. And again, it's one of those things. Grandparents do care deeply about their grandkids and how far are they willing to go. But it also raises really important point. Well, generosity is admirable. It's critical to find a balance because helping loved ones shouldn't come at the cost of your own security and that retirement security, financial security.
Well, right. And those are incredible statistics. I mean, to me, it seems clear that if helping your grandkids is potentially on the horizon, it's essential to meet with your financial services professional to discuss your options.
Yeah, and I agree because, again, an advisor is going to help you figure out a way to support your grandchildren without sacrificing your own financial stability by creating a customized roadmap or a tailored roadmap. We can identify potential strategies that's going to work for everybody, whether that's gifting, maybe staying within that annual gift limit for that long-term financial plan, 529 plans, college savings plans. Maybe that's more beneficial than just handing your grandkid $100. Maybe, hey, we're going to start contributing on a regular basis to a 529 plan that's going to, again, give more benefit in the future than just, hey, here's $100, go out to eat or whatever you want to do with it. And also there can be some tax advantages to that 529 plan, depending on tax brackets and those types of things.
Sure.
And then again, just evaluate the long-term impact of those withdrawals on your retirement accounts or savings with solid guidance from an advisor, just to make sure you can protect your own financial future.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are ways, like you said, it's not a negative. There are ways to give generously and protect your financial future, but it comes with planning. That's a key. Make sure that spending on your grandkids is part of your overall financial or retirement plan. That has to be a part of it. And if you do that and plan ahead, you'll know where you're at and what you can do. And it's just like a burden lifted. You won't have to worry about it. Nobody wants to have to worry about helping out their grandkids. You want to have a plan and that enables you to do it, empowers you to do it.
Yeah.
Because, we love our kids and our grandkids. In fact, to get that plan in place, let's take a moment to let our listeners know about that no charge, no obligation consultation they can set up with you to get a plan in place. How can they get a hold of you and your team there, Ashton, to do that?
Yeah, listeners can visit my website at pankininfinancial.com. That's PANKONIN financial.com, or give my office a call at 952-873-2703. Again, that's 952-873-2703 to discuss how we can answer your questions and discuss concerns about budgeting as a grandparent, your financial strategy, or any other part of your retirement. It's our goal to help you prepare for retirement you've worked so hard for and make your money work hard for you as well.
There you go. I love it. Make your money work for you. That's a big part of it. And, you've been talking about some of these financial costs that come with being a grandparent. You broke down that survey conducted by the Senior List, which revealed that many grandparents out there are spending money on their grandkids by helping them with large purchases like tuition, housing allowances, and more. What do you want to talk about here in our second segment?
Yeah, let's start talking about the upside because there are some real heartwarming benefits to helping out our grandkids and family financially. First off, there's the joy of being there, whether it's special outings, those shared moments, whether that be just going to the local town celebration with the grandkids, bringing them on rides, just that help build stronger family ties and create memories that really matter. And then there's the bigger pictures, like contributing to a college fund or that savings account that not only supports their future, but it also leaves a lasting legacy, knowing you've helped pave the way for that education career that the grandkids are going into. And then there's other things like covering essentials. Clothing, healthcare is a powerful way to ease some of the pressure on parents and give grandkids the room to thrive. And then there's, again, we had mentioned briefly, but there's also some tax benefits depending on the type of contributions and gifting you do to these kids. We can gift up to $19,000 a year without triggering gift tax exclusion. 529 plans can give you a smarter way to save for college, for the kids and for the road ahead for the grandkids. And then most importantly, Tony, there's just the joy of giving. 80% of grandparents say they love being able to help, according to the article. And it's not just about money. It's about staying connected, staying involved, and finding real purpose in the act of giving.
Yeah. And, I'm not a grandparent yet, but the idea of doing things to help build lasting connections with your grandkids, it really hits home with me. I mean, obviously, we all love to spoil our kids, but we know what that can do. So the idea of being able to spoil kids without your own personal repercussions and paying back your own children for all the grief they gave you to spoil their kids, that's even better. That's even better. I can't wait until my son has children.
I don't get it.
Be payback.
When grandma comes over, I've never seen more treats given out in my life. And like donuts for breakfast, donuts for lunch, donuts for I don't
donuts
think
and ice cream are everywhere.
I don't think I was able to eat a donut at all when I was a kid, but now grandma's just handing them out.
Yeah. You didn't get that treatment, but your kids, she's going to ruin your children. Yeah. I love that. Let's load them up with sugar and leave. Yeah. You got to love the grandparents, don't you? When you have kids your age too, like the 5 to 9 or whatever range, that's they'll come over, load them up with donuts and sugar, and then say, "See ya."
See you later. Good luck.
Well, you'd never let me do this when I was that age. Yep, exactly. That's right. Smile and wave as we drive away, and your kids are tearing up the house like Tasmanian devils. I love it. I absolutely love that. That's great. That's the point of the whole thing. Can't wait to get there myself. So.
But yeah, we talked about the upside, Tony, but there's also a flip side to that. While it can be incredibly rewarding. Yeah. It's also important to think about that flip side, which, again, it adds up, this spending. If we're talking $4,000 per grandchild, it might not seem like a lot at the moment, but over time it can take a real bite out of that retirement budget. Maybe even delay your own personal dreams of travel or finally stepping away from work. There's also a risk of creating a pattern with your grandkids or their parents where they start to rely on that support a little too much. So again, helping with grocery bills now and then is generous, but you've worked hard for your independence too. And so that matters as well. And, let's be honest, giving because of guilt or pressure is the kind of stress that can chip away at peace and freedom of retirement. And so, again, there's a fine line between, gifting and, having that be an expectation as well. And so again, more spending now, Tony, can mean less flexibility later, especially if there's unexpected health issues that pop up or long-term care becomes necessary. And those monthly costs can be significant. And so you want to be prepared for that. And then again, Tony, there's the tax side of it too. And so if you gift more than that 19,000, it can trigger, the gift tax exclusion. And so you want to make sure you can keep within those gift tax if possible there. And so again, giving can be a beautiful thing, but it's about balance and making sure you're helping them out without hurting your own financial situation.
Yeah. Again, it's put on your own mask first. Before you put on the mask on your kids, and creating that list, your own list, your personal list of pros and cons of helping your grandkids. That's another reason to schedule a get together with somebody like yourself who can sit down and help you with that. Right.
Yeah. And I mean, I know we're talking about grandparents here, but it's oftentimes I sit down with parents, still in their accumulation phase of retirement. And we talk about, are we going to save for the kids' education or are we going to save for our retirement? And sometimes it's a blend of both, but not everybody can afford to do both. And so again, it's having that conversation early on of what is the trade-off if we're going to choose to be giving these gifts and generosity, whether that's saving for a kid's education or a grandkid's education. What is the trade-off there? And are we willing to make that sacrifice? And again, it's each individual situation is different on whether that makes sense. These people.
Well, yeah. And I think this is really, really good. You got to have that list of pros and cons. So what's next?
Yeah. And so again, generosity can be a beautiful thing, but it shouldn't come at the cost of your financial future. And 57% of workers are already feeling behind on retirement savings. And so it's a reminder to double check your own financial foundation first, or put on your mask first, as Tony's been talking about here, and make sure you're going to be okay first before you start doing this gifting. And the good news is you don't have to choose between your future or theirs. With a little planning and some solid strategies, you can do both. And again, we touched briefly on this. Instead of just handing out cash, it's probably more beneficial to invest in their 529 account for future education expenses. It's designed specifically for education, and there's a nice perk for grandparents. It's called the Grandparent loophole, which now allows you to contribute without hurting the grandchild's financial aid eligibility. And then a newer rule is if they don't end up using the 529 for tuition, I guess it can cover tuition, room and board, supplies, fees. But if they end up not using the full 529 amount, they can actually roll it into a Roth IRA, which will help for their future retirement plans. And so now you're leaving a true legacy for possibly multiple decades, 50 years plus, if they end up using some of that for retirement as well.
See, that's huge. I can't say that enough. It's a reminder that a thorough financial strategy's biggest benefit is positioning you to take care of your needs while also helping you tackle some of your wants, like helping grandkids, right?
Yeah.
And so that makes it so important. But I do like, and they talked about there's these new accounts and there's more information rolling out about the new Trump accounts or whatever. Setting up an account for young children that can grow in the market over their lifetime, and then they can access when they're adults to either pay off college or save it for retirement. That's huge because that compounding interest is big.
Yeah, it's huge. It's eighth wonder of the world there, that compounding interest. And actually, one of the things I encourage, because kids get so many gifts, we almost don't buy them any presents anymore because by the time grandparents and aunts and uncles get them presents. But I actually encourage them to give cash, and then I match that cash into their 529 account if they do that. Because again, is a kid going to remember a $40, remote control car 20 years from now, or is he going to remember that gift of education? There. And so, again, it's something to consider there, as well as, what is going to leave that lasting legacy versus, buying something short term now.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the toys will be forgotten about if not in a year, in a week. Sometimes,
yeah,
how it is.
Play with the box more than they do the toy.
Right. So, I mean, that account, they might not appreciate it a lot this second, but I'll tell you what, I wish I had money in an account and had left it there, and my parents had done that, or my grandparents, and had taught me more about the power of saving. I mean, I'd be set right now. You know what I mean? It's like my daughter, she's putting $300 a month into a Roth, and she's 20.
That's awesome.
She started when she's 21. She's 22 now. She'll have millions by the time she hits 65 for retirement. Yeah.
And that's the other thing we want to talk about, is one of the biggest things a grandparent can do is teach the importance of grandkids to earn and save their money. And so, for example, grandkids are over and we just had a windstorm here. And so I think of all the sticks down in the yard, bring the grandkids over and pay them to pick up the sticks, and then talk about, hey, what do you want to save up for? And have them save up for a big purchase, because that teaches them saving. It teaches them the value of money, that they have to earn their money as well. And so again, it's a way to also celebrate when they save up and they are able to make that purchase. I think of, when we were kids, what did you save up for? Maybe a remote control car. I think that was one of my things I saved up for as a kid. And man, they've come a long way since I was a kid, but that's a whole nother topic. But it's rewarding to know I've earned this money, I've saved for it, and now I'm able to purchase that. And that's something to be celebrated. And one way as a grandparent to benefit the kids is teaching them how to save.
There you go. Well, great show today. We're out of time, but I'll tell you what, Ashton, let our listeners know how they can get a hold of you to set up that plan, a no charge, no obligation consultation with you. I know you love sitting down and talking to our listeners and meeting them.
Yeah, give us a call here at the office, 952-873-2703. Again, that's 952-873-2703, or visit us online at pankininfinancial.com, PANKONIN financial.com.
All right, that does it for today's episode of the Pankinen Financial Perspective with our host, Ashton Pankinen.
Thank you for joining us for Pankinen Financial Perspective. Don't head into retirement without a plan for both your finances and your health. For more information, contact Ashton Pankinen at Pankinen Financial Group at 952-873-2703 or visit pankininfinancialgroup.com. Join us again soon for another episode of Pankinen Financial Perspective. Advisory services are offered by Ashton Pankinen LLC DBA Pankinen Financial Group, an investment advisor in the state of Minnesota.
All matters discussed during the show are for informational purposes only. Each individual situation may vary, and the opinions expressed here may not apply to everyone. Materials presented are believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations can be made as to its accuracy. All ideas and information should be discussed in detail with one of our qualified representatives prior to implementation. We are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration, the Federal Medicare Program, or any other government agency. Calling this number will direct you to a licensed sales agent.